Coming up next, I'll reveal the 4 trick questions in job interviews. I'll tell you the 4 qualities that'll get you promoted, and we'll take your calls and chats. It starts right now. Coming to you live from Ramsey Studios in Nashville, you're joining a conversation about who you are, what you were created to do, where you want to do it, and how you can get there. I'm Ken, so excited to have you with us today. You are the subject of this show because you were created to fill a unique role, you and everybody else on this planet. So that means you are needed. I don't care how you feel about yourself right now. You may feel down. You may feel devalued. You may feel lost, confused, scared. I can tell you this, clarity behind the fact that you are supposed to contribute to this world through your work is what will set you free. The clarity behind that fact. So that's the fact. That's the truth. Whether you feel it or not, I can tell you, facts don't care about your feelings. They just don't. So the reality is that you have to understand that you've got something you're supposed to do. Somebody out there needs you to be you. And that is why we're here. So the number is 844-747-2577, 844-747-2577. Every once in a while, you got to clear the old throat. And I don't know what's going on. I got to take a swig of water. My voice was fine a minute ago. So here's what you do. You sip a little water, you make that sound effect to drive Joe nuts. And that little bit of water should have done the trick. You know what I mean? That's how much I appreciate you people. Okay? I'm live and my voice is irritating me. So I'm not about to irritate you folks. Here we go. The 4 trick questions in every job interview and how to answer them. This is a great article from Forbes. Some questions in the interview are designed to disqualify you. Have you ever thought about that? It's really true. Everything's not just about making you look good. Remember this. The job interview is about figuring out whether or not you can help them win. Keep it simple, folks. All right? So here are the 4 questions. This is really good. I'm going to read the question and then give you a little bit of background. Here's a question you're going to get. So why don't you tell me a little bit about yourself? Now that seems really simple, but it's actually designed for misdirection. Seems like they want you to tell them about you. All right? And so what's the temptation? Well, I was born at a young age. And you start walking through your life story, right? Because they said, tell me about yourself. So you start talking about your favorite subject, you. But here's the problem. They don't want to know about your life story. What you need to do is be connecting your story to the interviewer and to the company. Because if they're not seeing the qualities, the abilities, that would be character traits, qualities, abilities, skills that you bring to the table that will help them win, then you're just wah, 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 wah. They don't care. They don't want to know what happened to you the first time that you jumped into a pool and what lesson it taught you. They just don't care. They want to know what you bring to the table. Number 2, what can you tell me about your favorite boss? Now, this seems warm and fuzzy, but here's what you don't see, the follow-up question. So you say all these nice things about your favorite leader, and when you're done with that, then they hit you with, well, tell me about your least favorite boss. Boom. Uh-oh. Now they've got you in a corner. So here's the deal. When you start slinging mud, you start trashing your least favorite boss, you're going to get dirty in the process. Because here's the deal. It can't always be about the boss. And when you start trashing somebody, they start going, whoa, what are they going to say about me when I'm not around? So always take the high road there. You need to be prepared for that question. Number 3, what's your greatest weakness? This seems like it's designed for you to share your flaws, the things that we all need to be aware of about ourselves, and they, as our leader, need to be aware. But they actually don't care about the list. What they want to know is that you're self-aware. So you don't have to trash yourself here, but be thinking about what are my weaknesses. But when you share the weaknesses, also share how you have addressed those weaknesses, how you communicate about those weaknesses so that they aren't a massive problem. Question 4, something like this. Our policy is X, or our policy on X is Y. And they'll share with you a company policy, a concrete boom. Here's what we believe and why we believe. Or here's what we do when this happens. How do you feel about it? Now, here's the trap. This is really good. This is incomplete information. And if you try to give a complete answer to a incomplete question, you're going to look silly. Here's where you look really smart. Ask some questions. If they give you an incomplete thing, ask questions. Well, tell me more about this. And by breaking it down, turn yourself into a detective. Here's what's going to happen. A, you'll get the information they didn't give you so that you can actually respond. B, you're going to look really, really insightful. So that's a really great article from Forbes, really good stuff there. Make sure, here's the whole point, and we have a how to win the interview guide at kencoleman.com. It's absolutely free. And what I do is I teach you how to prepare before the interview so you can perform during the interview. I mean, this is a nerve-wracking moment for a lot of people. It might be the most pressure-filled meeting you ever have, a job interview. And if you're not prepared ahead of time, that's when you melt down. But if you're prepared, your brain is a supercomputer. It will take over when it needs to. So, good stuff there. 844-747-2577 is the number, 844-747-2577. If you're in the chat room today, fire those questions. We'll get to a few here in a few moments. And if you're fired up about this Monday, throw a thumbs up in there. And while you're watching the show, if you're enjoying it, give us a like and maybe share as well. 844-747-2577. Edgar joins us in Rochester, New York. Edgar, you're on the Ken Coleman Show.
Good afternoon, Ken. How are you?
I am living the dream, Edgar. How are you?
I'm doing okay. Today's my day off from work, and it's a great pleasure to speak with you. I'm reading your Proximity Principle book, and it's given me a lot of insight on a career that will make me happy.
Great. So what is that?
Well, the thing is, I've just been struggling with finding what it is that my talent and what I love to do.
All right. Well, those are two different things. So what you do best and what you love to do most. So let's look at what you know. Give me something. If I interviewed everybody, I mean everybody, Edgar, that knows you well, and I just walked around and said, tell me what Edgar's always done really well. It's come easy for him. What would they tell me?
Lately, the people that I hang out with, well, the friends that I talk to, and my mentor and some coworkers, they'll say that I'm really good at describing a product.
Okay. And give me the context of that. Does that mean you're in a sales situation and you are telling a customer what the product is and how it works?
I would say, I like to collect fragrances. I love smelling good. Like me and my girlfriend, we were at the mall this weekend, and I was describing the fragrances as if I was the one working at the store.
Okay. What else?
I don't know if that helps or not.
Well, it's very interesting, but we want to go a little deeper. What else do they say that you do really well?
They said I'm a good listener.
Okay. What else?
They also say,
Come on.
My mentor told me that I'm really good at, I'm just struggling with how to put that into words.
Edgar, you know what you're doing? You're thinking so hard you can't talk. You're trying to make it sound amazing. And it doesn't need to sound amazing. Stop trying to be this poet who's describing how cologne smells and just answering the question. Edgar, say it. What did your mentor say about you? And stop trying to say it pretty. Say it now. Go.
He said that I'm very good at expressing myself.
Great. Okay, so we've got two patterns here we've seen. You're great at describing the way the cologne smells. You are a good communicator. You express yourself well. You are good at communicating, yes or no?
Yes.
Great. That was easy, wasn't it, Edgar? Let's stop making it so hard, okay?
Okay.
Stop trying to impress me and let me help you. Now, here's the deal. You're really good at communication. You're good at listening. That makes you an even better communicator because communication isn't just about expressing words. It's also the ability to listen to others. Yes or no?
Yes.
All right, great. Let's move over to work that you love. What is a job or a role, just a task or 2 or 3, that if I paid you to do this, you would feel like you were stealing from me? What do you love to do, Edgar? Just say it. And don't try to be a poet, Edgar. Just say it, man. Go.
I would love to talk to people about a certain issue and give them the resources to go about solving that issue.
Man, that was well done. Now, that was great. We'll make that sound prettier as we go. So fundamentally, you want to communicate information that makes people's lives better. Yes or no?
Yes, absolutely.
That sounds good, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
All right, now let's keep going. I don't want you thinking, Edgar. I want you feeling. I want your heart to answer this. Who are the people you want to communicate to? And why do you want to communicate to them? Or rather, what is it that you want to share with them? What does your heart say?
I want to help people who are somewhat less fortunate. And my heart just goes out to people who really want to get back on their feet.
Okay, be more specific. Are they behind? What are you going to do to help them? What specific problem? Now, you've got them in your mind right now, which you're right there. What's the problem you most want to help them solve? Or what's the solution that you most want to give to them? Say it.
I want to help people with budgeting their money and planning for the future because the Dave Ramsey program has helped my life in so many ways possible.
Exactly. Okay. Now.
And I did not have that growing up.
Right. So here's the deal. Let's look and see if this is in your sweet spot, Edgar. I have a 3-part formula. You have to use what you do best as a tool to do the work that you love. That's communicating, listening, guiding, right? To create a result that matters to you. So if you use your communication skills to communicate information, and that information helps people get their financial life in order, is that in your sweet spot, Edgar?
Yes.
Absolutely it is. So now, what are all the ways you can do that? Okay, so we're going to spit out financial coach. You could actually get licensed and help people with retirement planning, investment planning. A financial coach is a part-time deal that is an entrepreneurial play, and eventually you can go full-time. Okay, but that's going to take some time. The other issue is, pardon me, folks. I don't know what's going on with my throat today. The other thing that you could do is you could say, all right, wait a second. What if I'm actually in environments where I'm always bumping into those people who are less fortunate? So where are those who are in the poverty level or below? Where do they live? What communities, what programs in the community do they engage with? Can I somehow plug in there? Is this something that I do that's more missional and it's not a full-time thing right away? So that takes the pressure off of you trying to make full-time salary. You just have to identify, how is it that I'm going to best communicate to those people? And then is it full-time right away, or is it part-time that could eventually lead to full-time? You just figure that out, and Edgar, you're on your way. But we just got clear, so now it's stage 2, get qualified. Stage 1 is get clear. We walked you through the sweet spot exercise. And I think that role, if I was going to pick one word to describe a role, Edgar, that you want to fill, it's that of teacher. And so figure out where you can best teach and have that impact. Maybe you're teaching in the high school and you're teaching regular classes, other subjects, and then you also are teaching, Dave Ramsey's Foundations in Personal Finance. There's lots of ways you can get there, Edgar. And so that's what you have to do next. There's a little bit more vision casting in Get Clear, and then it's Get Qualified and Get Connected. Use the proximity principle, which you're reading the book right now. So you're on your way, man. 844-747-2577. We go to Alberta, Canada, where Andre joins us. Andre, you're on the Ken Coleman Show.
Hey there, Ken. Nice to talk to you.
Nice to talk with you, Andre. What's going on?
Hey, so I reached out to you today because I'm looking for advice for finding work during a recession. So Alberta's been in a recession for about 5 years now, and I'm just trying to get my resume to the top of that list. I've applied for several jobs, probably like hundreds, and I've had not much luck, or they're one of those kind of jobs where you only get 8 to 15 hours a week. I'm trying to find that leg up and get to the top of that list.
Well, it sounds like we've got two issues. One, how to get noticed, and then the other thing is are you fishing in the right pond? So when you say Alberta's in a recession, you also said you've sent out hundreds of resumes, so their jobs are available, good jobs that you would categorize as good jobs that might get you on the path to your dream job. Those are available, yes or no?
Yes, there are a few that I have seen, correct.
Okay, great. All right. So when you're submitting these resumes, have you just been submitting them online, going through the company's process, or have you been working my resume process, which is that acknowledging that a resume is worthless unless you've got a relationship in the building? I'm curious, what has been your strategy?
Yeah, so my strategy has been applying online and in person. In terms of the resources you provide on your website, I have taken a look at that, and I have followed your template.
Oh, you have?
I did get a little bit. I did get a little bit of luck, or like I found some work with that template, which I definitely appreciate.
What happened?
Looking for the next thing.
What happened? Did you get an interview out of it?
So I got an interview out of it, but the problem was they wanted me to complete a course within like a week of being hired, and it wasn't something that I could physically do. Like I couldn't do it within a week. Could maybe give me a month and I could do it, but not a week.
Okay, so bottom line is you had some success. So my resume, it's not the template that works. My template just makes your resume look different. But if you don't have a relationship attached to it, there's got to be somebody in that company going, hey, I know Andre personally, or I know Andre through person X. And so you've got to keep working that. And that's how you get noticed. That's how you get pulled out of the pile. There's no secret strategy. Now, my resume will get you noticed. I mean, but again, it'll only get you noticed if somebody pulls your resume out of the pile and says, hey, let me tell you about Andre. And then they look at it and go, whoa, I've never seen a resume like that. And that's designed because we know from a New Ladders article that hiring managers are spending 7.4 seconds looking on average. This is on average, scanning a resume. So the Ken Coleman Show resume template looks fantastic, and it gets people to go, what? And they kind of stop and they look at it. But again, we got to get it out of the pile for that to happen. And that's where using the web of connections is the way to go. Madison, let's give Andre a copy of my best-selling book, #1 best-selling book, The Proximity Principle, which is all about how to get where you want to go. Okay? It's about people and places. And Andre, you've got a lot more work to do. You could be doing it better. And I'm going to give you the manual, the guide, the field guide. So go do that. But you've had some success. You just, for whatever reason, couldn't do the one thing that one company wanted. So this is a rinse and repeat. I believe in my resources. They work. We've got literally tens of thousands of people who use our resume to success. But I would caution you, I'll never say on this show, because I don't believe it, that it's going to work every time. I mean, there are times you're just going to get rejected. People aren't going to hire you. You weren't the best candidate. But what I'm promising you is that you will continue to get opportunities if you do what I tell you to do. So I've got 3 Get Hired guides. I've got to mention them because they're free. KenColeman.com right now. One is on the resume. One is on how to prepare and perform in the interview. And then the third is how to follow up, the touchpoint timeline. All 3 of those guides, you can see them right there on the screen. Go get those. They're free. And they work, by the way. 844-747-2577 is the number. Hey, speaking of the proximity principle that I just gave away, we've got a great bundle right now for only $25, all 3 formats of the book. Do you like the ebook? Is that your preference? Great, we got it. You like to listen to books, audiobooks? We got that. And then we've got the hard copy that I will autograph for you, all 3 of those, $25. That's an incredible price because only, we're talking about all 3 formats, just one price of $25. So go get those, KenColeman.com. All right, to the chat room we go. I love it. Good to see all you out there. This is me giving you a wave. How about you drop a wave in the chat room? Let's just see how that goes. All right, here we go. Aaron Franklin says, Ken, I'm continuing my job search this week. My wife is due to give birth any day now. How should I handle negotiating the day to start if I get an interview this week? you're not negotiating. You're looking for a job. The child's coming any day now. Decent human beings understand that when a child comes, that could change the calendar. You only need to focus on getting hired and no negotiation. When you get hired, you go, by the way, if the wife is still pregnant, then you say, hey, my wife's about ready to give birth any day. I'm super excited about starting, but I just wanted you to know that could change my schedule for about 24 hours or so. And if they say, hey, no problem, take a couple days, whatever. But good people are going to understand and they're going to treat you well. So don't worry about that. Just over communicate, be super clear. Grace Fair writes in, how do I find my talents? How do I know what I do best if there are no peers or coworkers to tell me? Oh my gosh, Grace. Sweetheart, I don't know what's going on in your world that you think there's nobody in your life that can confirm what you do well. I just don't believe that. And so I'm going to challenge you on that. If there are no peers or coworkers, well, that doesn't eliminate family. How long has it been since you've been in school? I mean, I could reach out now to my old high school basketball coach, I'm 45 years of age. I could email my favorite teacher right now. Say, hey, when you think back on what I did really well in school, what would you say? I mean, there are people who know you well who are objective and aren't going to lie to you. You don't want people to just tell you stuff to make you feel good. But you've got friends and family. You've got former classmates. You've got former teammates, maybe, if you engage in anything. It doesn't even have to be a sport. If you were in music or whatever. You've got people in your life who are truth tellers, who know you well enough to say, Grace, you've always been really good at this. So you can find that out, and you've got to go ask. But then I would also say, before you ask, don't you know deep down in your heart, Grace, what you've always done well? Little Grace, think about little Grace, elementary, middle school. Come on, Grace. You've always done things naturally really well. Those are the clues. So you've been complimented before. What'd you get complimented on? And think of two things here. I like to say talent. I could say hard skills, soft skills. Okay. But I like to say abilities and qualities. Abilities obviously are those hard skills, things that you can actually do in work and people can see you demonstrate the skill. But qualities are character qualities, things like patient, diligent, hardworking, loyal, honest, So think of your qualities, and those are all things that allow you to do work. So that's what you need to do. Let's do one more question here. Bob Robert, this is my favorite name today. Bob wasn't enough. He thought, well, I'm going to go with the short version. Maybe that's his last name. I guess it's possible that his name was Bob Robert. That means his parents named him Robert, which I kind of like that. Robert. Hey, whatever works. Bob Robert writes in, graduating soon and I have an interview for a position on Monday. I've had 3 internships with this company. However, my GPA is not where I would have liked it to be. If GPA comes up, how do I respond? I love this. My answer to these questions is always going to be the same. Just be honest. And go with the short version, not the long version. Don't give them a 5-minute answer about why your GPA is a 2.9 or 3.1. Because I don't know if they really care as much. If it comes up, it's just, let's be honest, but let's also be short and sweet. Hey, here's the deal. I lost interest at this semester here because I was taking classes that had nothing to do with my major, or I was in a major that I realized I didn't want to pursue it professionally, so didn't have the juice. But the good news is I got the juice for what I'm doing here. Just be honest and don't over-explain. I don't know. Anybody in the control room ever get asked about your GPA in any job interview at all? Just a quick survey? Right. Oh, so sometimes, Madison, they said put it on the application, what your GP. Oh, okay. Gotcha. All right. So yeah, I just did a quick survey of the control room, and the control room says this is quite a sample size. There's 4 people in there. None of them have ever been asked. So I have not heard much about that. So I wouldn't worry too much. 844-747-2577 is the number. 844-747-2577. I want to talk to you about 4 qualities that will get you promoted. But before I do that, I've got to mention just a very quick drive-by because it's free. Our newest resource, Should I Quit My Job quiz. This is about the first step of clarity. Okay? Should I quit my job? Some of you think you need to quit your job, but you don't need to quit your job. Take the quiz. It's 20 questions, 3 minutes or less. You're going to have one of 4 results. It's super, super clarifying. We've heard from so many people that said, Ken, I knew what the answer was, but this was the nudge that I needed. So go get it, kencoleman.com. All right. I love this. There's people say to me all the time, Ken, I'm in the field I want to be in. I'm in a good company, and I've been there such and such a time, but I want to move up. How do I move up? And I've got you. You ready? There's 4 qualities. Number 1, you need to get these qualities, and they are gettable. So if you're listening to this, you go, well, if I'm being honest, I don't think that I'm really strong in that area. Good news is you can get strong in all these areas. I'm going to walk you through this, okay? And when you have these qualities and you display these qualities every day, every week, every month, every year, here's what's going to happen. People will seek you out. Leaders will seek you out and say, we notice you, we want to promote you. Here are the 4 qualities. Number 1, you got to be likable. You got to be likable. This is relationships 101. Doesn't mean you got to be perfect. Doesn't mean you're not going to rub somebody the wrong way, but you can fix it. And so if you have a pattern of being a very likable person, you're positive, you're kind, you're thoughtful of others, right? You think about others. Hey, be likable. That's a great quality. Number 2, so that's about relationships. Here we go. Number 2 is coachable. Be coachable. What do I mean by this? Well, there's 2 areas in your professional life and quite frankly in your personal life, but we're talking about the professional life right here. 2 areas that you're going to need to be coachable. Number 1, in areas of instruction, when you need to learn something. You're new, or you get a new opportunity, or some type of new technology, or some new policy, or something happens, you need to learn something new. Don't be stiff-necked and hard-headed. Don't be that guy or gal. Be coachable. Okay, yes, I know I need instruction. I'm going to receive the instruction. And then the second area in which you need to be coachable is when you need correction. Now, there's a difference. Instruction is you need to be taught something. Correction is where you blew it, and your leader's got to have that tough conversation with you. You've got to fix a behavior. You've got to change a pattern. That's what I'm talking about when I say correction. So in those 2 areas, if you receive it, you've got humbleness about you, a humility that says, okay, I know I need this. I know I need the instruction, and I know I need the correction. I'm going to listen, I'm going to receive it, and I'm going to fix it. That kind of spirit, oh my goodness, it makes you so attractive. Number 3, reliable. Can people count on you? That's what we're saying here. If I ask you to do something, your leader asks you to do something, they need to just be like, I'm not worried about it. I just asked Sally to do this, and I get to sleep good at night because I know Sally's going to take it further than I even want her to take it, and it's going to be 50 times better than I would even have thought to ask her to do it. Sally is somebody that we could count on. That's what I mean when I say reliable. You can be trusted. So this isn't just, you're going to get done what they expect to get done, but you're trustworthy. All right. The 4th thing, honorable. This is defined by 2 things. You treat others with dignity. You are a man or woman of honor. You treat everybody you come in contact with dignity. Okay? And then the second thing is you act with integrity. You're honest, high character, always integrity. Nobody's questioning your motives or your actions because you act with integrity. Everybody sees you coming, and you're an honest, high character person. Those are the 4 qualities: likable, coachable, reliable, and honorable. Now, let me address what I said earlier. I love the person who looks at a list like this and says, I'm likable, but I've not been as coachable as I need to be in situations of instruction or correction. Well, guess what? You can fix that. All of these things, if you rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10, and I think that's a good exercise today, you can become a 10 in all of these areas. Without question. This isn't a skill issue. This is a character issue. So you can get better, and you should. Because the person who's off the charts, likable, coachable, reliable, and honorable, you're not going to ever have a problem getting promoted. 844-747-2577. By the way, before I move on, I just dropped gold. I hope these folks know that. That right there is about as clear as I can possibly be, and anybody can be. And those are 4 qualities you need to start measuring yourself on. I'm telling you, before we move on, I'm telling you, that's just gold. You're not going to have to worry about progress in your life if you're intentional in those areas. 844-747-2577, the number. Let's go to Ashley, who joins us in Glen Burnie, Maryland. Ashley, you're on the Ken Coleman Show.
Hi, Ken. How are you?
Ashley, I'm living the dream. What's happening?
So my husband and I, we are on baby step 1, and I have a decent job right now, but it's not something that I want to be doing. It's just something that was accessible at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not sure if it's a smart idea for me to go back to school currently, or if I should wait until we're out of baby step 3.
I think I know the answer, but let's get absolute concrete confirmation on that. Why would you need to go to school? Do you have a clear reason that says, Ken, I must go to college or go back to get another degree in order to get where I want to be? It's the only way. It is the ticket, the only ticket to get into the dance. Is that the case?
Yeah. I think so. I was looking at maybe going to accounting to become a financial advisor, possibly.
Great. All right. And
Yeah.
so are you positive that to become a financial advisor, you need an accounting degree?
That's what I have seen when I've done some research, but I could be wrong.
No, listen, I am not questioning you to try to prove you wrong. I'm questioning you so that you're absolutely certain. I don't know the answer either, but you've done some research, and I just want you to be absolutely sure. So let's just assume that you're sure that that's the situation. Do you have a degree, by the way, at all?
No, I don't.
Okay, great.
Just high school.
Okay, great. So let's assume that's the case. Right now, you and your husband are in baby step 1. You're just trying to get $1,000 saved up. So you're really just crawling out of this hole. Absolutely. You need to press pause on the accounting degree and that direction you want to go until you're financially stable. So yes, once you get to baby step 3 and you've completed baby step 3, now you're ready to cash flow your way through. And I want you to hang on the line because my good pal, Ramsey personality, Anthony O'Neill, just wrote the best-selling book, Debt-Free Degree. And that is my gift to you because that's what you're going to need. So hold on the line because Anthony gives you a very, very clear path. It's super easy to understand, and you can do it, especially when you get out of baby step 3, for you to cash flow your way through that degree. And I just want you to have it now so that you've got this extra bump of hope. Hey, not only am I going to get out of debt because of Dave Ramsey's baby steps, Anthony O'Neill is going to help me go to college debt-free. So you're good to go. You're good to go. You know, this just proves the point. I'm going to take another call real quick here, but it just proves the point, folks, that when you do your homework and you stumble upon a Dave Ramsey, I won't even include myself in this, okay? But let's just assume you stumble on a Dave Ramsey and you see his books and you realize he's got this radio show and you do your homework and you go, this dude really does know what he's talking about. This isn't snake oil. There's like millions and millions of people have gotten out of debt. And you realize that it's as simple as reading a book so that you have the knowledge. And then it's as simple as going, I'm going to do what I know works. Ta-da! Like, folks, life change is that simple. Now, it's as simple as I know and now I do. Now, that's hard work involved, but understanding what it takes to change is just that simple. 844-747-2577. Let's go to Phil, who's on the line in Eau Claire, Wisconsin. Phil, you're on the Ken Coleman Show.
Hey, Ken. Thanks for taking my call. I sure appreciate it, sir.
Yeah, no problem. What's going on?
So I currently work for a consulting firm, and the company I work for, we just acquired a new customer that I've kind of been the point guy working with, and they're just a cool company. I really have been enjoying working with them. They got really high-performing teams and cool culture, and the work that they do is really innovative, and I really could see myself working there, and I get real excited about thinking about that, but I want to tactfully explore working there with them without jeopardizing the relationship my employer has with the customer, as well as my relationship with my current employer, should it not be something that would work out. And wanted to pick your brain, see what your thoughts were on that.
Yeah, well, I don't think that there's, a whole lot of complexity to what you need to do here. And I think it feels complex because of, well, what if it doesn't work out? Like, what if I look into it and I discover, well, I actually don't want to go there. And then the word gets back to my current folks and they think, well, you're not loyal to us. Like, you're starting to run all these possibilities through your head, and it makes the whole thing complex. When what I think you have to do here, and this is the key, by the way, to solving complexity for everybody, not just you, Phil, you just got to go, wait a second, let me just break this thing down really simply. I'm not going to go talking to anybody over at this client company until I've identified positions there that I absolutely know that I'd like to fill. That would be step one, correct?
Yeah.
Have you done that? They've got some positions there that would fire your soul.
Oh, heck yeah. I mean, and they're struggling to find my expertise.
Oh, wait a second. So now, Phil, so you set me up, man. You acted like you were super uncertain on some stuff the way you said it. You're not. A, they've got something that you'd love to do. And now B, you're telling me they're struggling to find somebody who has your qualifications. So now we're not worried about this thing fizzling out, unless it's a bad culture and you're working closely with them enough to figure out, are these people who they say they are? And if you're not, you need to figure that out. That would be the last step. That would be C, right? A,
gotcha.
They got something that I'd love to do. B, they need guys like me. And C, great culture. You need to verify that. And once you know that it's a really good culture, meaning what I'm concerned about here, Phil, is we don't want to take this gig. You get in there and find it was all smoke and mirrors, a mirage, and then you're miserable. You tracking with me?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so once we know that, then it's about, okay, I need to be discreet. And you need to say, you need, what I would do is, you're working with certain people in that organization. Are they the people that would hire you, or are they a different division, different, floor of the building? You understand what I'm asking?
Yep, absolutely. In all likelihood, the people I'm working with are the ones that I would report to. Okay,
then is there one person that you trust, that you feel like you got a good enough relationship that you said, hey, I'm going to throw something at you and I just want to get a feeler here and I don't want this going anywhere. This is just a what if and I'm wondering and I'd like to share it with you in confidence. You got somebody that you feel comfortable doing that with?
Yeah, I think so.
Well, then do that. Just say, hey, it appears, say this. Here's what I know. I know that you've got a position or two, and you tell them which one it is, that I'd absolutely love. I love you guys. I have fallen in love with your company and your people in serving you. Well, that's not a bad thing. That's great. That's very normal. So then you say, there's a couple positions I think I'd be super interested in. And I think you guys, here's what I'm hearing, that you guys are looking for somebody like me. And it just kind of hit me. I've got the qualifications. I've also got the desire, the interest, the connection. But I like working where I'm at, and if it doesn't work out, or if that seems weird to you all, if it's a conflict, whatever, then I don't want to make anyone uncomfortable, so I'm just keeping it between the two of us. What do you think? I think that's the way I go about it. And if they go, well, man, that's great. Let's move this up the flagpole, and of course we'll be discreet. I don't think there's anything to it. Am I missing something?
No, I don't think so. The only, complication with it is that it would require a move and that sort of thing, which would be a big hurdle. And so I worry that should it not work out for that reason, that there would be...
Well, hold on a second, Phil. A, you didn't tell me about that, so let's address that. That's a you decision, not a them decision. So don't have this conversation. So everything I said holds true. Don't have the conversation until you know that you're willing to move. So that's a conversation with your wife, your family, whatever. But that's a you issue. So you should know that it's going to work out regardless. That's all you got to do. Well, that's all there is to it. You just have to simply communicate. And when you communicate, what you're going to find is that you already know what the non-negotiables are. So if you're okay moving, then there's no problem at all. So you and your wife and family, like as I said, have got to be completely clear. Hey, if this comes to us, what if? Let's play the what if. And if the what if is they offer it to us, we've already decided the kids are okay. They're going to be fine moving schools or leaving friends behind, whatever. That's all you got to do. Well, that music means our time's almost up. But before I go, you matter and you do have what it takes. Thank you so much for joining us. Until next time, this is the Ken Coleman Show. Press on.